Hey guys, what's up? Zax here, and today we are back with Season 2 of F1 2013 Career Mode here in Melbourne on Expert difficulty in the Mercedes. We start in 6th position with Lewis Hamilton on pole position. Here is the grid for anybody wondering. Hamilton, Vettel, Alonso, Webber, Raikkonen, myself, Massa, Hulkenberg, Button and Perez is your top 10. And there is everyone down to Max Chilton in last position. But let's roll onto the grid for the first race of Season 2 in F1 2013 Career Mode. 50% races, so these videos will end up probably being around 50 to an hour long. So hopefully you don't mind that. We're starting on the softer tyres. I don't know anything about strategy in 50% races either, so that's going to make that even more exciting. We'll see what happens here. Looking forward to just at least getting some points this race. Obviously the Mercedes is worthy of some points, so we'll see, but I was about, I think, 8/10 or second or so off Hamilton's time in qualifying, so we'll see, but I've got to really adapt to this car. It's a lot different to the Force India, which is obviously down there on the grid. Let's see what we can do. I doubt we can get anywhere near the win, but we'll find out. Down into turn 1 at least a bit. Here we go. Season 2 is underway. Alonso, Webber, Vettel, that lot are in front. Well, that was a pretty easy turn 1. Everybody pretty much just dived out the way. I wasn't even really going for a position down the inside, but the AI make it easy. Vettel goes in a bit deep, and now I'm ahead of Hamilton. Right, where can we get to now? If you're wondering, there'll be timestamps down in the description if I remembered some of the most interesting parts of this video. I'm going to try and remember to do that at all costs, because I think a lot of people have asked for that, so I'm going to try and do that. But Vettel now in the lead of this race. Can we do anything? We're going to go on the attack here. We pretty much got to go, and now we made a mistake on the first lap. Hamilton's going to... it's not Hamilton either, it's Webber going around our outside there, as we've got rubbish on our tyres. And now let's see what we can do. Oops, that was way too much curve on the inside there. But look at this, 29 laps. This is going to be one long race, and I've just got to keep calm because there will be points most likely at the end of the day, but I just can't keep it on the track on these tyres. I'm going to have to really push for some sort of different strategy in this race, and obviously no flashbacks either is going to be a lot different to my other career modes where I've had at least a couple of flashbacks. But already we've got people right up behind us. Hamilton is now being overtaken by Felipe Massa there for 4th position on the road. Now rolling down into turn 1, try and get the braking right. Just try and really not get in the wrong head here, because we can still come home with some good points if we have a good race here, and we have a fast enough car to do so. But it looks like Vettel has stolen the march on us here, as well as Webber actually. But the Mercedes is renowned for bad tyre wear. I don't know whether that comes into effect in this game, but I hope it doesn't. But look at those tyres already, really orange, and I really am fearing the worst here, that we could really not have the best of races here. But we can try our best. We got to. That's all we can pretty much do, is do our best and see where we come out at the end of the day. Obviously no flashbacks, and this isn't really exactly my favourite track on the calendar. I don't mind it, I'll tell you that, but I don't find that I ever can get it right, is what I'm trying to say here. I always seem to get it wrong, and that's obviously not nice to get the track wrong. Webber's 2.7 up the road, Hamilton half a second back. Under the bridge here, actually Webber isn't doing too badly. He could probably get onto the back of Vettel if he keeps pushing at this rate here, because Webber's going on at quite a good pace. But the tyres already running out of grip, and we ended up in the gravel there, dipping at least one wheel in the gravel. But a nice queue of cars already forming up behind us, which is not what we wanted, but I sort of expected it already here in F1 2013 Season 2. So coming across the line, we're going to be at least well, yeah, I thought it would be about 4 seconds, but 2.9 seconds there. Oh, sorry, 3.9 seconds. Oh, the tyres have just gone. I just can't get it into the turn in there. Destroyed. Maybe this was a bad choice going to Mercedes. I probably could have done a better job at Force India, just because their tyres were not as high degradation. So we'll see, but we've got a nice queue of cars behind us already, and I think we'll have to deal with this for at least this first race of the season. It's just we're gonna not be the fastest, I've got to admit that, but It's just the fact that we're going to be really slow, because I'm not good around Australia, so I don't see why I would suddenly be good. So we've just got to try and get this car to the finish point and hopefully get some sort of points. But if that happens or not, we'll see. But I'm hoping at least we can get to the finish. That's going to be the aim. But we'll see what happens in terms of that. But Webber is in front, Hamilton behind. No retirements so far, which is obviously very good. We don't want to see retirements in the race, but it would probably help us out at some point to get retirement so we can actually have more positions. But through the middle sector we're not losing any time to Webber, but it's just the first and last sector where we are losing a lot of time. Middle sector are about equal, I think about 1/10 or so lost. The car just seems to have no grip. I don't know why. The tyres aren't actually that bad, but just through certain corners it's just hard to keep it out of the gravel on the outside. This probably, no, it won't be our fastest lap. See that last sector there, we lost quite a bit of time. At least let's try and get to the finish. I mean, Nico Rosberg didn't manage to get to the end of the Australian Grand Prix in real life due to mechanical issues. Hamilton right behind now with DRS. Hopefully he doesn't do any stupid manoeuvres on us, as we are teammates. Remember back to Austin, Texas, the American Grand Prix of last year, where Hamilton took out his teammate Rosberg there, which was entertaining for me as I was in a different team, but I'm hoping that doesn't happen this year. We'll probably fit on the tyres, we'll fit on the primes. Let's just go for a different strategy here. Let's see what we can do and see how far we can get into the race. Obviously with no flashbacks, stupid mistakes like that are going to be costly and lose us time. We're going to have to defend with Kerrs here. Hamilton's probably got the inside line. Actually no, he just ducked out of it. So, oh, it's horrible going through there. The front tyres are like destroyed. It seems a bit weird that Hamilton's able to put on so much pressure on me, considering he's in exactly the same car and in real life he's an aggressive driver, so technically in the game he should be an aggressive driver. Right, good at making contact with Hamilton there. There's a yellow flag out. I wonder what's happening there. Green flag, now a yellow flag again. Okay, people diving into the pit lane here. I don't know what, I didn't mean to click on that one, but fuel, put it on lean for the meantime. Mercedes slowly going through the pit lane here, putting those tyres on. The primes, hopefully don't make us wait though. They don't. Sutil now up into 6th position. People coming down the pit straight. Quite a lot of people there, down to 8th position, as we should be able to come out the pit lane. Oh no, there's going to be, oh, this could be a really bad strategy. Oh, the auto braking there. Is that Max Chilton? Yes, it is Max Chilton up into 10th position. 2 stops remaining. They're looking for a 3-stop strategy here. I'm not gonna lie, I probably should just follow what the team say. Is that? I think that's Van der Garde having front wing damage there, so he's obviously not having the best of time of it. Apparently we're going to have trouble closing the gap on the Caterham, but we'll see what happens. We could possibly, hopefully, we can overtake the Caterham car here, as obviously we're in a much faster car, but not actually too bad. I expected to do quite a bit worse through that stint there. We came out, we're probably going to lose a couple of positions to Hamilton and all that lot, but Van der Garde defending to the inside. But look at the extra speed and grip advantage. He's put me in the wall nearly there, Van der Garde. Luckily we just had enough speed to keep it out the wall, but well, that was close there with Van der Garde. He nearly shoved us into the wall. Now Daniel Ricciardo is our next target on the calendar. I expected a bit too much grip there, and we're slightly off into the grass. Hopefully these prime tyres will actually enable us to push a bit longer here. I'm not sure. I don't think it was a 3-stop strategy in real life, but we'll see. I can't really remember, to be perfectly honest, but we'll see what happens in this race. Looks like Hamilton has jumped us through the pits, and looks like we're going to get out ahead of Perez there. Ooh, a bit sketchy through there. Hamilton now right in front. Ooh, that's contact. That was a stupid manoeuvre from me. I don't know what oh damn it, I'm in rear brakes because it just didn't stop. it just felt like the rear was out of control, and it was, because the brakes were all going to the rear. So that was a stupid manoeuvre on my part. I'll put my hands up and say that was definitely my fault. But I can't just stop now. It's unfortunate because I did not want to do that. If I was in the front brake brass, I think I probably could have actually made that move stick without contact. But unfortunately, we've made contact with our teammate Lewis Hamilton. Maybe it's Nico Rosberg putting a spell on us to do what Hamilton did to us. Technically, as we're playing as Nico Rosberg in the Austin race, the American Grand Prix last year. It looks like, just like in real life, Red Bull just have got the race pace, and looks like they're pulling out just an advantage. It's going to be near impossible to catch. Webber came out of that pit lane behind Sebastian Vettel there, but looks like that's going to be near impossible to keep them under any sort of control through this race. Red Bull just look, electric in this race. It looks like it's going to be a fight between myself, Hamilton, and all that lot. But yeah, I'm still a bit annoyed about that move on Hamilton, but I've got to just let it go and get on with this race, because if I focus on that too much, I'm going to start putting in stupidly bad lap times. When's my next pit? Lap 12? Are you serious? Lap 12, I think I probably could actually extend this stint a bit, but it's lap 12. I suppose I'm not actually doing that many laps on these tyres otherwise, and it seems like I might get like jumped up. I don't know. I could honestly probably try and make these tyres last a bit longer, but I don't really want to risk it. I think the team know what to do. And obviously I'm no engineer, I have no idea what I'm doing in terms of tyres. I said that coming into this race, so if I just go against the team strategy, that's probably a stupid thing to do. So lap 12 it is. I suppose there's still another 5 laps on these tyres. So that's, I don't know how many laps we've done on these tyres. So I can't remember, is it lap 5 we came into the pits. So we'd have done quite a good amount of laps actually. So it'll probably be able to get us to the end. I was just worried that we weren't going to get to the end on another 2 stops. But I suppose mathematically speaking it would actually work out there. Vettel putting in a great lap time, which is going to be good for him. We'll come up to the line. We'll be nowhere near that. I think that's going to be a big thing for us. Look at that. We're 2.5 off the Red Bull. And Hamilton is gaining on me, but not by 2.5 seconds. That Red Bull is just electrically fast. So Hamilton will probably get us under this DRS, and obviously he'll get payback on us for that stupid manoeuvre I pulled on him. Hopefully he won't do it by taking me out, but if he did, I shouldn't be too angry, because I did pretty much just take him out running into that turn down there. But Mercedes look like they're on a good run here for some good points. I'm not actually under that much pressure. I've only got 1 car behind Hamilton. Webber isn't doing that fast lap times. He's probably about second a lap faster than me. But Vettel, blimey, Vettel is just like so fast. It's crazy how fast Sebastian Vettel is running in this race, and it's electric pace that I don't think Mercedes can keep up with. But we'll see, maybe Vettel makes a mistake or 1 extra stop and it could all just be thrown on its head here, but it's unlikely that Red Bull will do something stupid like that. They've got this race under control. They'd probably just copy what we did. I mean, even if they had more tyre wear, to be perfectly honest, they probably could still beat us with an extra stop. So we'll see, but Webber's gone off the road as well, so it's going to be hard to catch him unless he makes 1 extra stop, that is. Ooh. Turned in that corner way too early, but at least we've got a good drive for this year. I mean, on expert difficulty now you can see the sudden step up in performance. You can see that everyone else is obviously quite a lot faster, but I think this is a difficulty that I wanted to be on. I mean, it's going to challenge me. It's going to challenge me for points, positions all over the place. It's going to be interesting, and I hope that we can have a much more entertaining season. I don't think we're going to finish top 4 in the championship like we did with Force India, but we'll see what happens. I mean, if you're watching at this point, guys, be sure to help me out with some likes and some comments. It's always going to be appreciative, and I've been quite bad with replying to comments. I mean, a big thing with my channel, which I don't see many people do, is replying to as many comments as possible, which I have been doing. I pretty much replied to every comment up until earlier on this week. Since I've pretty much replied to every single comment that I got since F1 2013 launch, which was, I don't know, pretty hard, but I think I feel, you know, happy when I do that, because obviously a lot of people are asking questions about the game and everything else, and you know, as I've got the game, I should be, you know, answering them to our best of abilities. Hamilton now looking for an outside manoeuvre. Will give him space, but it looks like he's got the grip round the outside there. I just turned into that corner way too early. Hamilton now up into a podium position, and hopefully he can go on our attack, but I don't know, maybe he won't be able to, I don't know. But obviously with no flashbacks or anything, my mistakes will be costly. I'm actually set as the #1 driver in Mercedes. I didn't realise that, but it's a bit weird, but I can just take so much more speed through the corners. I don't know how they do it, but Perez is actually that car behind me now. Oh, this is the position where we crashed into Hamilton before, and we've gone way too deep into the corner, just about keeping one wheel on the track. I pretty much had to go for that manoeuvre, or I was never going to get that manoeuvre, so, you know, at least there was no contact that time with Hamilton, unlike my move before. But it's that corner, I think, 2 years in a row that's caused accidents with me. Not very good with that corner, am I? I don't know how, but McLaren are now up into 5th and 6th position with Perez and Hamilton. Don't know how and why they are so good in this game, but it seems like they're a bit overpowered. Doesn't look like Lotus are really up where they should be in this game. Grosjean actually went out in Q1. I don't understand that whatsoever. Grosjean went out in Q1 in this game I'm talking about. Actually, and in real life as well. Yesterday, when you're watching this, he went out in Q1 for the race, and now we're behind Hamilton. We can actually sort of keep up. But I think it's still that first sector, that illustrious first sector that so many people love, and I'm sort of despising because I'm not very good at it. Around there, put the DRS on. We're coming up to, I think that's a 3rd race distance we've had now. Look at the DRS. Even with the DRS, we're nowhere near Hamilton now. We're having to take a lot more of the curve to take the same speed through him through the corners, but this DRS is helping us out. I mean, it's not going to really do too much difference. I mean, we're not going to overtake Hamilton into here. You can see those black lines on the ground where I went in there way too deep beforehand. Hamilton is now on a charge. Hopefully he can go after Webber. I don't know whether he will be able to or not, but lap 12 is my pit lap. Let's start saving a bit of fuel here, just to have the outlaps can be fast, but just to, you know, counter attack anybody if they have the under or overcut. I don't know what it actually is in this game, but I think there is quite an undercut, especially online against actual players. Perez is right behind me. I'm going to use a bit of curves here, just to try and make sure I can get out the DRS zone from him. No, that's what I wanted to do. I'll probably run lean until we get up to the straight here, just to have that extra fuel on board. Had to take 2 stabs at that corner and got it all wrong. Perez doesn't have the DRS, does he? I can't really tell, but he probably will be coming past us here. No, he won't. Button is now coming out as fast. Yeah, Hamilton is doing some very good lap times there, but I'm also putting in some pretty poor lap times. I just can't hit the apex there, but it's annoying seeing Hamilton just drive off the distance. I still think that AI just have little or no tyre wear in this game, which is really frustrating. They seem to just be able to put in consistent lap times throughout the whole stint, even though in real life we know that tyres go off within a couple of laps, especially if these Pirellis really just go off. But I don't think there was 3 stops in real life. But overall the setup's a lot nicer here than last year. A pretty bad setup last year. I think it was actually just a standard setup I used. You see, Hamilton's actually putting away at a good margin now. He might actually be able to catch Webber if he goes at that pace. That's like 2 seconds faster than myself. Oh, a bit too late on the brakes. Perez just leaves me no room. I'm going to dive down the inside here. A bit cheeky of me to cut across the corner. Slide it into the corner. Who's that behind us? Button coming into the pit lane. Pretty destroyed old tyres there, but hopefully we get out in front of the Force India crew here. Quite destroyed tyres there. Away we go. The next pit is... we don't know just yet. McLaren with a slightly better pit stop there. Has to be said. 20 is our next pit. And this time we do come out ahead of the back markers, which is Force India Addis Alba of Sutil. One more pit stop. So we're about even though I ran like lean for like a whole lap, I only get like a couple of corners fast, which just doesn't make any sense to me, but okay. Hopefully Sutil now can hold up Button and all that. Oh, because I came out just in front, he came out just behind, so... but it's going to be close with Perez actually. A bit of a cut of a corner there, that's stupid from myself. Webber is in the pits, I think, by the sounds of it. Don't know where Alonso is in this race. I don't know why, but he just doesn't seem to be having very good pace in this race. I haven't seen him at all. I can't even remember where he started, but Alonso not having a very good race here. We're aiming for a top 5 position here now. We've got to try and get Perez through this pit stop here. Whether we get Perez or not will be seen as we come out the pit lane here. I think we actually have jumped back past Perez, indeed we have. And now we'll save some fuel for a lap. So no doubt he'll be right onto the back of me, but you know, he's going to be on the back of me anyway, so I might as well just save this fuel for the meantime and make sure I've got some extra speed for our next stop. Hamilton there out in front, so this will be, I think when we finish this lap, that'll be about halfway through this race. So that's good and bad, because obviously that means we've still got quite a long time to go on these tyres. I think they want these tyres to go quite a long way actually. Actually the last stint's going to be like 9 laps or so that's going to be quite a lot of tyre wear through there. Hamilton 7 or so seconds up the road. We actually gained quite a lot of time on Perez there. I don't know whether he had a bad pit stop or something, but he lost quite a lot of time there. But Perez not looking too happy on those tyres. We want to build up a nice little bit of reserve of fuel just so we can go on the attack when he ever catches me or through the next pit stop stages. 3 seconds to Perez, but Hamilton is just gone off like a rocket ship. But you know, we haven't done anything really too stupid. I think the stupidest thing we've done in this race is our move on Hamilton, which was quite stupid. But we'll see what happens at the end of this race, whether we can get a good position or not. Perez will be on us in no time here. Actually, I'm just going to put this fan on because it suddenly got very hot here in the UK. I'm sure it's nothing like the rest of the world, but for the UK it's suddenly got quite hot. So I'll put on the fan there. Hopefully you can't really hear it in the background, but just to make sure that I don't boil up like a baked potato whilst driving here in Melbourne. Press coming in again? Seriously, has he gone on to the options? He could have done the options there actually. I'm surprised. What the heck? Oh, Maldonado thing. I think a 2-stop strategy by the looks of it. Maldonado is looking like he's going to be trying something different, which could escalate him into the points, which is something I love about doing these 50% races. We'll see some different names up at the top, which should be good, but Red Bull seem to have got the march on everyone this season. I mean, I can't keep up with Hamilton, but Hamilton really can't even keep up with the Mercedes, even though Hamilton is putting in some very good lap times. As you can see there, I think he pulled out 2 seconds on me on that last lap, but I am running in lean fuel mixture. He's most likely running in standard or rich fuel mixture. So Perez is coming at us once again. He's looking like he wants to get this position off me, but we're going to try our best to make sure we can't. Next year, well, not next year, but for season 3, I am thinking about a couple of things. Continuing with 50% races is most likely. and then season 4 will probably be 100% races, just because actually I don't know, 100% races really, I don't know whether I'd actually, you know, I don't think I'd find it fun if I did 100% races, I'm not going to lie. Now I think about it, I mean, before I said I would like to do them, but thinking about it, I think I might not really enjoy it. Who's this in the pit lane here? Who is that? It's not Hamilton, that's somebody. Hamilton putting in some very good lap times there. See, I don't understand how he can go so fast. But, you know, we got Perez slowly coming onto the back of us. This is exactly what we wanted to do. We knew we were never going to get up to Hamilton, so what we wanted to do was put the... What we wanted to do is save up this fuel, sorry, and have it for the end of this race, which is exactly what we wanted, and it looks like we're going to be able to do this. So Perez coming at us. Oh damn it, I keep running offline through that corner. It's going to be pretty hard to get that right, I think, just because I keep doing it wrong, and I'm going to end up keep doing it wrong if I continue at this. But oops, way too early into that corner. I went all the way across the grass there. So Perez now right up behind me. We've done exactly what we wanted, which was save the fuel, and it should mean on our lap 20 stop we should have a nice amount of fuel, and it should actually mean we can go for some good fast lap times. If I can, I might just keep it in lean fuel mixture whilst Perez and is that Massa actually? Button's lost a lot of time. Oh, we got a retirement from the race. Is it Button? Yes, it is Button. So Button retires from the race. So we've got these two coming up behind us. I think Button would have been in that mix as well if he hadn't had the problem, and that made him retire. But that's pretty good for us actually. It means one more person off our hit list. That doesn't make any sense really. One more person off our list of people that could overtake us. Where are these guys going to look for the overtake? I guess it will be down the main straight. So, for some reason we've been in lean fuel mixture for a long time. We haven't really built up the amount of fuel I wanted to build up. I mean, I know we're slower than Hamilton. So Perez coming into the pits sometime near us. I don't know who this lapped car is. I don't know why he's so far back. I mean, we passed a lapped car in the pit and I thought it was Hamilton at first, but it wasn't. But this car in front of us is a lapped car. Right, let's see if Perez will go for the manoeuvre. We'll just stick it to this line here. We're not gonna cover the inside line. I don't think he's even going to be anywhere near us actually. Perez actually didn't even get near us, so that was a bit, well, I didn't expect that, to be honest. I thought Perez was going to be right onto the back of us there, but he wasn't. This lapped car in front of us actually going faster than us, I think. We're actually holding up these guys behind us quite a bit here, but at least we haven't really got a trolley train behind us like I did for most of last season. So at least that's one good thing here. So we're over halfway through this race. We're coming into the last 10 laps or so very shortly. Hamilton building up a big advantage on us. It could be possible here actually that one of those Red Bulls actually comes to lap us. Oh no, we just went in way too deep there. Oh no, that was just completely wrong. What was that? I think that was Massa hitting the back of us there. Oh, I cut way too much that corner and actually ended up failing from it. I'm not very good with the defending in Australia, so I'm very sorry if I do anything stupid. Oh no, I just ran into that corner way too late. No. That's another car into pit lane. Well, Perez tried to turn into the corner there, and he actually did. Perez not leaving us a single amount of room. He's driving like he does in real life, but we get the manoeuvre done finally. I had to be aggressive there with Perez because he was being aggressive with me. Just kind of like shunting me off into the grass, but it was good to see the AI actually doing stuff like that. I mean, I really don't know, but I doubt it that the AI have character traits, but it would be cool to have that in 2014. Have it so maybe like Perez is super aggressive with his defensive manoeuvres, he maybe gets a penalty for it as well, would be quite interesting. But it'd also mean that in the, you know, for example, if Perez started playing the game, he would, you know, it's a bit unfortunate for him if he sees himself getting taken out at every race, or getting penalties every race even. And I think something like that is sort of like a bit unfair. I can't remember, there's something else where they said they couldn't do it because it would be just unfair, and you know, it just wouldn't sort of be right. But I think it's like the AI crashing into you on purpose and stuff like that. They obviously wouldn't want that in the game. We've now got 2 laps of extra fuel. I think we drove pretty sensibly in this race. We've gone a couple of audacious manoeuvres, but I don't think anything too bad actually. So, you know, overall we've been lapping quite consistently in those 31s and 32s. And now we've only got one more stop to go here in Australia. It's quite a high degradation track, I think, so we've got this extra fuel here. The tyre wear hasn't been too bad actually. We've got a nice setup on here. That's exactly what we need to do actually, was just save this fuel. Now I think by the end of this lap we might have like 3 litres of extra fuel, or sorry, plus 3 laps of extra fuel, not litres. And that should mean that we can actually go on the attack and maybe go some good lap times actually, so that would be interesting. I always take the wrong line through there. I honestly don't know which is the racing line, which is stupid. We've lost like a pit stop to Hamilton now. That's a bit embarrassing, but we have been pretty much we've pretty much been running in lean fuel mixture this whole time, so I suppose I can't be too disappointed in myself. But obviously I would have liked to take the fight to Hamilton. At the end of the day, we finished 1 position behind him. We only get a couple of less points, even if the gap is massive. So now he'll pull into the pit lane here, I think. Well, oh, sorry, I will pull into the pit lane here, but I think Perez will as too, and so will Massa. So those two coming into the pits. So looks like someone is going around there. I don't know whether we'll lose a position. No, we don't. 19 cars only in this race now, so more people retiring. And nice fresh tyres onto our Mercedes car. Let's have a look at these retirements. I'm sure a lot of people will ask for them. There are your retirements. Button, Alonso. Wow, Verne as well. Are your retirements. And the rest of them are driving around perfectly fine. And who's this coming down the straight here? We've lost 2 positions, and actually that stint then we must have been slower than those guys, because those guys were the people that we came out behind in the last stint. And look at that, the tyres, I thought the tyres already got sort of starting to look a little bit orange, so I thought they were. Maybe that was just me, maybe it was just a little brief second there. But the tyres looked like they were already gone orange even before we got out the end of the pit lane. But the outlap really isn't the strong point of the AI, so we need to build up a nice gap here. Put as much fuel into fast mode. That doesn't make any sense. Put everything into fast mode here and make sure we make every single corner perfect. And we're going to go for all guns blazing next lap and hopefully go for a good lap. Maybe go for the fastest lap if possible, but we'll see. I'm going to try and go for a qualifying lap next time through, just to see what I can actually do in terms of pace. If the tyre wear was equal for all people, including the AI, which I personally still think that it isn't. I'm going to keep banging on about that until they actually bring out an update for Xbox, but I don't know whether they ever will. But it looks like we're closing in on these guys in front. They'll probably end up being in the pit stops at some point very shortly. And we go straight into the pits as soon as I say it. So round here, obviously we won't have DRS, but we'll have curves to our ability. And now running across the line here. Let's start this qualifying lap and see what we can do. Braking down into turn 1. Use the curb on the outside there. Now cursing it away through the DRS zone. Normally would be opening DRS up there in qualifying. Now running down onto the Pirelli banners. Choose around that sort of point there. That's a bit too early there. Touching the apex on the inside. And then touching this apex here. Running across it and running over the white line with those right wheels on the outside. Now running across here. Could put 4 balls off the track if you really wanted to. Down, brake, brake, brake. Sort of missed the apex on that first one, but touched the apex on the second one. Now I'm going to use a bit of curse here. I don't know whether you really should on the Pirelli banners. And this is the corner that I can frequently mess up. But there we go, a bit of grass on the inside. That was not intended, but we used a bit of the runoff on the outside as well. Now that's not the racing line, so I'll go over here, which seems to be the racing line as we run through here. Missed the first apex. Touched the second apex and on the one on the outside as well. Actually there isn't an apex on the outside, that is just a curb. And now it's the final part of the lap. Touched the curb on the outside. Curb on that side. So this has actually been a pretty solid lap as long as we get this one right. Well, we missed the apex of that one there. A bit drifty through there. Now we're in the final corner. You don't really need to touch the curbing on that inside there as we run up to the start finish line. What's this lap time going to be? A 29 flat. So that's pretty good. That's something that I wanted to do, was get a lap time which was a bit more consistent and a bit better. But yeah, that's my qualifying lap for this race. I want to do something similar like that to every single race, just to sort of go through it all. But as I said, I will probably leave timestamps down in the description for everyone if you want to skip through everything. But it's going to be, it won't be updated straight away. I mean, by this point, if you refresh it, you'll probably see the timestamps. But if you started watching it as soon as I uploaded the video, you probably won't see the timestamps if you see it as soon as I uploaded it, just because I normally sort of forget to do things as soon as it uploads. I mean, I normally try and do the annotations, everything. Nice run of speed through there, and it's actually a faster lap time by 0.2 of a second. Oh, it might not be now. We ran way too fast through there. Hamilton, I cannot live with that pace. 1.5 seconds faster than myself. Overall, it's actually been quite a nice lap there, but a couple of mistakes in it in that last part of the lap will probably mean it won't be any faster, but not too bad, not too shabby whatsoever. It might actually be a tad faster. It is by 0.07 of a second. I might actually just throw in some extra fuel. I'll go for this one last flying lap. Just see what we can do. So Hamilton in front, but there's an AI just in front of us here. We could actually probably overtake. I think that's a Marussia we can see in front of us here. So only 19 cars in this race. Let's see where this Marussia is, if we catch it, that is. This will be our last flying lap. I think we'll run out of fuel otherwise. Middle sector wasn't as good, but that was much better through there. This could actually be on for a good lap time, maybe a 28.7, something like that. Same for a 28.7. Let's see what we can do. Around the final corner, there's only a couple of laps to go. 28.7, will it be? It's 28.5 exactly, so that is by far our best result, not best result, best lap, sorry. It's by far our best race lap so far, and not actually that far off some of the other guys, which is quite good. But now we've thrown it into standard fuel mixture, we should be able to coast it to the end. There shouldn't be too much worry from Perez and that lot behind. I seem to have got quite a good gap. This final stint's actually gone quite well actually. We're coming to lap traffic now though. So yeah, as soon as I put it down to the standard fuel mixture, my fuel doesn't make any sense. My lap time automatically goes down a bit. So only 19 cars left in this race. Who's this? Bianchi in 17th. So Bianchi getting out my way very nicely, which is nice to see. AI actually getting out the way. Hamilton 30.5 seconds up the road. He's obviously putting in some good lap times, extending the gap on me, but overall this sort of last part of the race hasn't been too bad. I think I've driven the best I've ever driven around Australia in this last stint here, and not actually lost that much time to Lewis Hamilton, which is obviously what I wanted to do, make sure I didn't lose any time to him. Now cursing it up down the main straight away here. This actually could be a pretty decent lap time, still under a 1 minute 30, even on the standard fuel mixture and tyres, which are quite destroyed. And we didn't actually lose any time, I don't think, on that lap to Lewis Hamilton. But now we've got Jules Bianchi behind us. Perez kind of catching us, but with I think it's 4 laps or so to go now. It's been a very long race. Not really been tedious. I thought it might have been a bit tedious, but I've actually enjoyed talking through this 50%, my first 50% on F1 2013. And overall enjoyed the experience. I will definitely enjoy doing this career mode now, as I was sort of a bit worried when coming into this race here that it might end up being a bit boring. I might have stuff not to talk about, but we've done a pretty good job in terms of driving and talking, as I have tried to keep you entertained throughout this whole video. Please let me know if you are entertained by this race here. Hopefully, even though it might not have been the best driving ability, I have had, been able to talk through it and whatever, and yeah. But Hamilton actually lost time through that middle sector there, so we are starting to close the gap on Hamilton. There is no way we're going to be gaining 30 seconds on Hamilton throughout this, but who knows what happens. He might crash it into a wall, lose a front wing on a back marker, I don't know, but I think I can see a Force India in front of me. I think it's a Force India, I think it might be. I think there's a Marussia in there as well, but we'll catch them lot soon. Looks like Bianchi is doing us a good job here, as he is actually sort of holding up Perez in that lot, which is actually sort of what we needed. There you go, 29.3 was actually quite a good lap time there, not too far off actually our fastest lap. Oh yeah, Lewis Hamilton on that lap was quite fast in that last sector. What cars have we got in this gaggle here? We've got actually a Force India. He hasn't had a very good race. We've got a Marussia, which will be of Chilton. So Chilton outperforming Bianchi by the looks of it, unless he is 2 laps down. But Chilton was doing quite well actually. I think he was up to 10th position at one point in this race when we came out the pit lane. We were quite close to him. I'm guessing this is De Resta. De Resta and Bianchi, not De Resta and, oh no, Suttel. He's having a terrible race. Suttel's down in 16th position there. Chilton just about managing to get around him. He's in 15th, but it looks like now Suttel going for the manoeuvre on Max Chilton. Maybe not actually, they're running side by side. I shouldn't be focusing on that battle, as that has nothing to do with me. Sort of backing out of that manoeuvre in the end, as it probably is the best thing to do, as he might have made contact with Mr. Max Chilton. Perez is now going to get all that traffic as well, as we'll come across the line with 2 laps to go. This has been a pretty scruffy lap in general, but it's been alright, nothing too bad, but 1.5 of our last lap time. Is this a Sauber we're coming up to the back of here? Actually it looks a bit more like a Caterham. So Perez actually gained a bit of time there, 4.5 seconds, but I think he's now came back up to the back markers. Definitely a Caterham in front of us. There's actually another lapped car in front of him, but I don't think we'll be able to catch him. It's going to be interesting to see how far ahead we are. Oh, Van der Gaard seemed to slow and then speed up. Yes, Van der Gaard, very good, thank you very much. Perez going to get slightly tangled up in that battle, I think, down there. Press having to go around the outside, I think, there of Max Chilton. They lost him a bit of time. Overall, this last stint has been pretty good. I'm satisfied, I should say, with this quite enjoyable experience. This last part of the race, four parts of the race. Obviously, first stint, then it came to the first pit stop, then that's the second stint. Then there's no. Oh my! I nearly lost it. Nearly lost it there. Right, I don't need to do any stupid risks here. I mean, Perez is like 4 seconds back. I do not need to do stupid risks because I pushed a bit too much there and got some gravel on the tyres and he spun me around. But our last lap here in Melbourne, the first race of the season, looks like we're going to pick up some good points for Mercedes. We'll end up second place in the Constructors' Championship here, especially as this isn't my best track. I'm pretty happy with the result. I mean, we lost a lot of time to Hamilton and all the Red Bulls, but you know, I'm not too disappointed because I knew that coming into the season it was going to be a tough challenge to even be up there with these guys. But I think I've done a pretty decent job here. I've been pretty consistent in terms of my lap times, around that 1:30 mark for quite a lot of the race. But Sebastian Vettel wins. He's a good like 3/4 of a lap in front of me there. So Sebastian Vettel putting in a great performance, and let's just hope we can bring it to the finish in 4th position here. Perez will not catch us unless we make a mistake around this final couple of corners here in Australia, and we will not either catch this back marker either. It's quite a good run through there. But this has been a very enjoyable experience. I thank you all for suggesting and keep nagging me, if that's the right word, to do 50% races, because I've thoroughly enjoyed this 50% race here, especially with live commentary as well. I want to make sure that's 100% live commentary. I was thinking about it, but I didn't want to cut out any of the race. I wanted to make sure you get 100% of the race, as lots of people are subscribed to me, and obviously the timestamps down in the description if you want to skip through the race as well. Coming up to finish the race with a 1:30.2, I think there, which was an alright lap time, but I'm happy with that result. Very, very good. 4th position for me and 3rd place for my teammate Hamilton. I'm thoroughly happy with that result. There is your result. Hamilton nearly actually catching Webber right at the end of that race there, and I think Lewis Hamilton there with the fastest lap of the race. But there we go, there's your points. Gutierrez in the points, Grosjean in the points after going out in Q1. Overall a much more exciting race due to 50%, and you got the retirements down there. Charles Pic, the only car 2 laps down. But guys, can we hit 200 likes on this video? Let's try. I mean, this has been probably the longest video I've done on F1 2013 so far, so let's try and hit 200 likes on this video. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in a couple of days time for Malaysia. Anyway, it's Black, I'm out of here. Goodbye.